Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for coming out. What we have here is a triple turd. It's been a while since I've brought out my bag of turds. I thought today would be a good day to do that. Triple turding this thing. Came in last night. Scrapper called me, said he had one machine. Would I be interested? He said it runs. So he showed up. I kind of glanced at it, noticed. It's a Bolin / Murray. I looked under the trap door to see if it had a blade. It was leaking oil through the PTO oil seal, and we'll get to that in a minute. So it had aftermarket screws on it. I've already kind of looked at this thing. Somebody got the right size thread and they put little washers on it, so that was correct. Flathead screws, so they matched it up pretty good. Probably Ace Hardware or Home Depot. Found these. So this is just a standard pusher, 21-inch cut. I'll give you the model number for the Murray. 96114003200. It's the M21 450. The 450 means it's a 450 series Briggs, which corresponds to this recoil sticker 450E. So they got that right. But not the 20-inch cut. It's a 21. So we can try starting it. And I want to give you the engine number. Here it's the 8 Papa 5020068 Frank 1. The PTO oil seal, which is the bottom one. Then you have the magneto side seal, which is the top one under the flywheel. I gave you that one, but our bottom seal, the PTO seal, is leaking. The 391483 Sam or Sierra is your bottom PTO oil seal. So let me turn this thing over and show you how bad it's leaking. Let me get rid of the turds and the hardware. We already know it's triple turded. So there's no safety brake cable. The spring is detached here from the linkage. So they've been killing it manually here, moving the linkage. So I got to get another cable for it. The bail bar is still in place. Tip it over, carburetor on the high side. So kind of crusty. And this isn't factory. Somebody's double nutted it here to keep the handle in place. That's aftermarket. Okay, what's this look like? Okay, so I don't know. With it being a Murray, it should be a bow tie blade. I think I could see the little stub here. This looks like a Craftsman blade and a heck of a big oil leak. I kind of spun the blade around to see if the blade was bent or the shaft was bent. And I don't see anything that would indicate that. So for the heck of it, let's take this off. Looks like 5/8. I just want to rematch it. Let me grab a socket and a 3/8 drive. Okay, got a 5/8. I was messing with some other machines earlier. I had a, what was it, a yard machine, 21-inch 500E. It wouldn't start on 1 or 2 pulls. It was a 5 or 6 puller, so I went ahead and adjusted the valves, and that seemed to help it out. Okay, so that's not a 5/8, it's a 9/16. Luckily, I bought both of them. So was something hit and it spun it off, or did they just put it on wrong? It's leaking so bad we got a drop of oil down there. So it looks like a universal blade. Okay, the way the stubbies are deformed, it looks like they hit something and the blade shifted, because there's a big knurl here where it did something like that. So I'd have to take a small file and get rid of that burr, or just change out the whole adapter. Yeah, now my screw here is cockeyed because I'm not lined up properly. So I'm just going to put it back here for now, just to try to start it. So this is triple turd action. It needs work. Another adapter, another blade. That's got to come off anyway to do my oil seal. I got to see if I have that oil seal in stock. It's not something I do a lot of, so I got to see if my inventory's got one. Hardly ever see them leaking. So let's continue with this triple turd, put it back together, and see if it does really start. No cover, no air filter. So, oh, well, I can get easy access to the oil. Let's see what that's like. Okay, well used oil. What's the level look like? That's where it should be. kind of crappy looking. So if I ever get this thing going again, it'll be 120 basic mower. I paid 10 for it. I don't know if I told you that. When I saw all the issues and nothing matched up, I says 10. 10 was the best I could do. Okay. Let me get my hardware. And put this thing back to how it should be. Let me grab a flathead. Okay, here we go. Another beautiful day in Southwest Florida. Mid-70s. Beautiful, sunny. A few cirrus clouds. But awesome. Slight breeze out of the west. No, south or southwest, it looks like. I'm looking at my flags. I got to remember this hack for future projects if I don't have the three sheet metal screws. There's an alternative. Okay, so that's that. Speaking of sheet metal screws, I'm going to show you something. Uncle Brad got me a birthday gift, and I had seen these things before. You'll see them at Home Depot and Lowe's. It's a thread checker. So it's got all kinds of different threads and the corresponding threads for the bolts. So you got metric on one side, standard on the other. So heck, since we're here, let's do a little experiment. Then you get a ruler, inches and millimeter. A lot of the time I'm ordering stuff on AliExpress or Temu, everything's in centimeters and millimeters. So it's nice to have a ruler so I can figure out how big these items are. So let's remove one of these and match it up to Uncle Brad's thread checker gauge. Probably going to be the smallest one up here at the top. Let's see what it is. Oh, it's not metric. So it's going to be a standard. Is it a standard? Or is it metric? Okay, that's a little loose there on the metric side. So maybe it's not showing here. Is it coarse? What's a better fit? I'm getting two different deals. I would call it the 5mm by 0.8. Is what it looks like, just matching it up. So this will be very useful if you got partial hardware and you want to figure out what it is to complete your project. Thread checker gauge. If you go to Home Depot and Lowe's, these things are all worn out from people grabbing stuff out of the bins and matching it up. They should probably change theirs. These things get worn out. 500 people a day checking thread size. Okay, so what do we got to do? It's got fuel in it. I looked at that. We know we got oil. This is secure. I guess prime it. Make sure my linkage tab here is full open and not grounding the coil, and it is. It's moved all the way in this direction. Primed it. What's it gonna do? How are you? Okay, just grounded it out. Just grounded it out. It started. So that's good. It's just leaking like a spaghetti strainer. So it needs some work. I'm still calling it a triple turd. The only good thing about it is it started, so we know it's a runner. I didn't feel any vibration here. It's just that this needs to be changed out with the proper working blade and adapter. Reuse the bolt. Like I said, I didn't see any damage to the crankshaft. I can't send it out with that much of an oil leak. After a few weeks of use, all the oil's going to pour out of it, then it'll seize up and I'll have an angry customer to deal with. So, kind of a Frankenstein, but I think we can work with it. It's just going to be a parts hog, I guess you would say. It's going to take some parts to get it going, but it was a $10 machine, so I started off low. I can still make a couple of bucks. Anywho, let me give you the oil seal number and the engine number. They're basically the same for these series overhead valve engines. The engine number 8 Papa 5020068 Frank 1. There's two seals on these. The bottom one, which is considered the PTO side, power takeoff, that's 39,148.3 SAM. The magneto side, the top side at the coil, 299,819 Sierra. I'll put these down below for you. This is a 2015 model number, 10th month, 20th day, 2015, so this thing's had the ride of its life. Any questions, concerns? Tommy period time at Yahoo. What are you working on? What's shaking? What's baking? Have a nice day today. Adios, amigos. Tip your waitress and waitstaff.